Alright, I think we're ready. I do appreciate your guys' patience here. Welcome, boys and girls, and guys and women, cats, dogs, birds, animals of species of all kinds and walks of life. I do appreciate you guys coming in and joining me here today. Arfie from the Doghouse, bringing you Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age. This is a remaster of the original Final Fantasy XII that was released back in, I believe, 2006 on the PlayStation 2. Square Enix decided to bless us with this good game. It has a remaster with the international release here today, released, as you guys can tell, it's up on the screen. um, what's interesting about this is back in 2006 when Final Fantasy 12 got released on the PlayStation 2, the United States got a different version, just like Final Fantasy X did. Different version here in the United States than what the rest of the world got and what Japan specifically got. That included a different license board and generally some other aspects of the game that I mean, I guess some could say it got toned down for the United States players, as it probably wasn't. They didn't feel the difficulty level we could handle. Specifically North American players. Obviously, that's not true by any stretch of the word, difficult, but they decide finally to bring it to us in the international version in its full glory, and we get in the version of the Zodiac Age. Obviously, this is released completely around the world because it is, again, a full remaster. So, updated soundtracks, updated graphics for the new current systems, upgraded license board to the international version. I mean, the list goes on. I don't know all the changes, so a lot of it's going to be a surprise for me as much as it is for some of you guys who either don't have this game or have it but haven't quite played it through yet. I'm going to show a little bit today, and hopefully as the week goes on, over the next couple days, maybe get another video or two in showing further aspects of the game. So as you can tell, we're at the menu here. We got a couple things. What struck me first here is this trial mode. I'm very curious about that. However, I'm not going to dive into it here. I'm going to wait until after I complete the game on a once through, and I'll come back and take a look at that. The new game option, let's get into this a bit. One thing I do want to note, I did go ahead and obviously download the original soundtrack. There is an option for those who have purchased the game on launch. You should have a code, a promo code, a 12-digit code you can plug into your PlayStation Network code redemption screen, where you can have an option here, as it shows here under sound, for either the reorchestrated soundtrack or the original soundtrack. Of course, obviously the language Japanese, English, or was in the original game, but this is a very interesting to me, as I'm a big fan of the Final Fantasy music all across the board, all the way from Final Fantasy 1 all the way to its spin-off games. I just have a great affinity for the Squeenix soundtracks, whether it's by Nobuo Uematsu or it's many of the other composers like Masayoshi Soken, etc., who've worked on the franchise. So I'm going to play with the reorchestrated soundtrack. The original's dear to my heart. I'd still love the original, but reorchestrated, here we go. Let's see how they switch this up. I will be playing on English. I'm not going to change that either, because that's how I originally experienced the game, and I want a little bit of nostalgia for me. Obviously, this game's going to have a lot of nostalgia because, again, it's essentially the same game, just with some updated systems, and obviously the license board change. But I want to be as nostalgic as possible for my own personal enjoyment. I'm sorry for the rest of you who prefer the Japanese language. Just a couple other things. This was an interesting aspect of the original Final Fantasy XII, as the access for the up and down were inverted. At least to me it was. And when you press up, you actually go down. When you press down, you actually go up. It was a weird kind of thing that threw me off when I originally played the game. So I'm going to leave it like this. Let's hopefully it won't throw me off. I should be able to go back in and change that later. This speed mode multiplier as well should be fun, but I'll do that on another playthrough of this game at a later date. So we're done here, so I'm going to go ahead and, I'm assuming, press, which button is it? Begin the game. Oh, there it is. I'm being blind as bat. So I do pardon the volume control. Oh, see, this is kind of disappointing me here because they kind of left this black bar down at the bottom. I understand it was for subtitle purposes, but if you, it just didn't look right when I originally played the game back 11 years ago, and it still doesn't look right now. It just, I don't know, it kind of drives me up a wall. Ah, good old Princess Ash. And I forgot his name. When I originally played this game 11 years ago, I thought he was going to be a playable character like she was. That he would come later in the game as kind of like one of those extra NPCs that are like OP, you only get for a period of time when you're in that part of the story, but then goes away again. Alas, my disappointment. You can definitely tell, at least, I'm not sure if you guys can tell when you're watching this video, but when I'm looking here at this, obviously being critiqued and opinionated as possible by anybody who streams or is a YouTuber or anything of that nature online, we gotta show our opinions on everything. So don't mind me if I get a little bit too opinionated on this. This game, I love this game to death. So I'm probably gonna be very nitpicky about every aspect of this game. But something you can notice is this intro video has some artifacting going on. I can see it very clearly. I'm not sitting too far from my TV, based upon where my computer is to the TV stand and where my TV sits. But I could definitely tell it feels like this has been upscaled a ton. And it's actually ruining some of the quality for me, especially when there's movement on the screen. If the character stands still, it's not so noticeable. I'm not sure what the term is of what's happening to the scene, to these scenes, that kind of artifacting that I'm talking about. But it's like it was not meant to move at this FPS or something. It's very odd.
Galtea, stand watch over your life.
Like you could really tell it on the man who handed the sword to the prince, the king. You could tell if you look closely at the king's eyebrows, you could tell they look very blurry, and something's very off about it. Oh, such a cool direction style here. I really like how they transition over. I mean, to me at the time, the whole battle scene blew me away. brutal. See, and this is especially fun in comparison because if we keep in mind, FF12 came out shortly, not too much longer after FF11 did, I believe. FF11 was like '04 or something like that. I'm forgetting exact dates here, so pardon me. But the game I played before FF12 from the Final Fantasy franchise was actually FF10 2? 10, 10 2. It was in that 10 franchise, or that 10 series section. Uh, and in that game, it didn't have a lot of this war politics stuff going on in the game. It was a very localized story just around the... I mean, it had some politics dealing with Seymour and the Maesters and stuff like that. But when you get outside of that, that was only a very small section in comparison to the rest of the game, which is about the journey of Tidus and the rest of the cast. Tidus, Yuna, and the rest of the cast. But here, I mean, the war is forefront. And it's so awesome to watch. It's all your fault, Bosch. It's all your fault.
Blessings of the Great Father descend, and guide your bodies return to the earth. Great Father, guide your spirits return to the Mother of all. Great Father, guide your spirits return to the Mother of all. Great Father, guide your spirits return to the Mother of all. Great Father, guide your spirits return.
And bam, Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age, has begun.
The death of Lord Rasla Heos Nabradia was but one of many tragedies to befall the kingdom of Dalmasca. The air of hope that had surrounded Her Royal Highness Princess Asha's wedding was now quite lost. Dalmasca had been set adrift at the mercy of history's restless tides. At this time, two great empires struggled for dominion over Ivalice. Arcadia in the east, Rosaria the west. The invasion of the kingdom of Nabradia was Arcadia's first step in its westward march. With Lord Rasla's beloved homeland consumed by the hellfires of war, it seemed clear that Arcadia would soon mete out a like fate to Dalmasca. The fall of the fortress at Nalbina told the destruction of the greater part of Dalmasca's forces. A counterattack was mounted by the order of the Knights of Dalmasca, ever brave and faithful. But against the martial might of the Arcadian armies, they stood little chance of victory. Indeed, their defeat was to be absolute. Soon thereafter, Arcadia came forward, offering terms of peace, or, as one might rather put it, terms of Dalmasca's surrender.
Yeah, pretty much.
Lord Ramanas, King of Dalmasca, and my dear friend, had no choice but to accept these terms. It was, thus, only with reluctance that he set out for Nalbina Fortress, now under Arcadian occupation, to affix his seal to the Emperor's Treaty of Peace. The king had scarce departed his royal city of Rabanasta when the remnants of the Order made their return, and not a moment too soon, for a terrible revelation awaited them.
That whole
The
section
treaty
right
would be
there
signed with steel
could be
and
put
written
on
in
the back
royal
of a
blood.
book. And if I read that, I'd be kind of intrigued. Just a bit. And which I think it's a great way to kind of start this game with the CG movie, and then you combine it with kind of an excerpt of what to expect. It's almost like watching a Star Wars movie. You got this story scroll at the beginning of
It's
the
as I
film,
feared. They're slowing us down.
and which kind of gives you an idea of what to expect, kind of from the movie and the story aspects.
He fights to defend his home.
Ah, good old Rex.
Your name?
Rex, sir. My name's Rex.
Good.
Traitor,
Rex.
traitor Bosch.
You bore a few cuts, but you are still whole.
Well, can you stand?
Maybe.
Think you can fight?
And what
I'm
this
fine,
game
sir.
did so well, like
How
a lot
old are
of
you,
the
Rex?
Final Fantasies up to this point,
17, sir.
had a good way of kind of introducing you not only to some of the characters
My
you'll
brother is
meet,
all I
but
have left, sir.
to the battle system as
He's
a
2 years
whole.
younger than I, living in
A
Rabanastre.
lot of things that Final Fantasy 13, which followed 12 many years later, and what it struggled with was the lack of
No, sir.
tutorials,
I
or
want to fight.
actually,
For my
correction,
homeland.
not the lack
And
of
for my
tutorials, but
parents.
just how long the
Save the
tutorial
discussion
system
for later.
lasted.
We must reach the king before they act.
Oh no, no.
Efforts will be in
Excuse me, I
vain.
was confusing that with a different game.
I'm aware of the
13 had the
situation.
issue where the tutorials were like 20 hours into the game. I believe that was it.
I will
God, it's
handle
been
this
so
right
long
now.
since I played 13, I might have to go back and replay that game.
Godspeed.
But this game, its first task was to set you out to learn the basics of the battle system. Obviously, the Gambit system will come a bit later, which, I mean, I heard a lot of mixed stories and mixed reviews with the Gambit system. Some people said the Gambit system was too easy, too
Keep your
simple,
wits about
too
you and you'll make it.
not really that complex, because if you set up your Gambit system right, you can pretty much roll through the game with each character on auto, and you didn't have to do anything because the Gambit system would take care of everything for you. Use the right. What if I don't want to? But I mean, but to me, just going on that thought about the Gambit system, to me the Gambit system wasn't all that bad. I liked it personally, as it was a new experience for me at the time. So it was definitely a very fun thing to kind of get used to. Set up my characters with certain actions based upon triggers, and like for example, it got really tough, and I really had to plan out my Gambit system when I got into some of those hunts later on in the game, as it gets pretty brutal, and especially some of the in-game hunts, pretty rough. But I had no issue with it. But there was definitely mixed reviews with it, and I really hope that there's kind of a re-evaluation of the Gambit system in comparison to today's standards with video games, and I'm curious if it kind of holds up. You can do it, Rex. Yes. See, so I like the fact that I don't select the action I attack immediately after. It's kind of delayed, and I can move around and make positioning. That's one thing I don't think I ever really understood about this game, is if my positioning ever really actually mattered. And to me, I never really figured that out. So I understand if I move further away from the enemy, obviously the enemy would have to chase me and I could run away that way. Or if I move within a certain distance, obviously I attract the enemy. But I never understood if I move, like say, behind the enemy, and if I was targeted, and if I moved while I was being targeted, does that actually matter? And I don't think it ever really did, because I think it's an automatic targets, and the hit or miss system is just based on stats or something. Magic again. Black. Oh, thanks for the health, buddy. I totally did not realize I was dying. Cure myself. I could probably just keep attacking because I think I'll just get healed out through this. Alright, let's just do some regular attacking here. Or we could win. That works too. Ah, the quickening. This game's version of a limit break.
Adeline, this is Sunbury. My engines are hit. She'll not hold much longer.
She won't hold, Captain.
We receive you, Tomberry. You've leave to retire. Well fought.
My thanks, Antlion. Sunbury disengaging.
Ha! Come out. I like how we're all just gaining up on this guy. I wonder what his thoughts would have been. It's like, oh crap. Better run. I don't know. I remember the whole mini-map thing. And this isn't just specific to this game, actually. The whole mini-map thing was introduced into even the base movements back in FF10. In FF9, 8, and FF9 and 8, there was a mini-map, but you only saw the mini-map when you were on the world map. You didn't have the mini-map when you were in towns or dungeons or anything like that. The mini-map was introduced as just a base map for no matter where you are in FF10. And when I played FF10 for the first time, I was actually really upset by that. Because I liked having to kind of sniff things out on my own. I didn't like the fact that there was a map there to kind of tell me where everything is. It kind of upset me. But obviously as time goes on, you kind of grow to understand why it's there and kind of appreciate why it's there. It's kind of, sometimes, especially in some of these later games like 10, 10-2, 12, even 11 with its mini-maps and stuff like that, it's kind of a necessary thing, because you'll be trapped in a dungeon for hours, just depending on how expansive the dungeon really is. So, I kind of forgave it. I want to target him. Oh, nope, actually, I might want to heal. That would be... Oh, or he can heal me. I wish my guys would make up their mind. And actually, I think, if I remember this section right, I think this is the section where I have to run forward. So I think they're just going to keep respawning here. Yes. And there's a save crystal. These things were huge too. I wish we had something like that in real life. Yes. Back out of there. Okay, proceeding forward. Let's see, nothing should be in here. Just up the stairs and to the next zone.
Intruders! Don't let them escape!
Sir, we have little time. You must go to the king. I'll handle these.
Yeah, sure you will. You had to be taught how to move, and you said all of a sudden you're gonna handle these? What a convenience for the story, honestly. Convenience for the story and the tutorial. Because obviously if Rex had ran forward here with Bosch, the events that's going to follow would never have happened. So in order for convenience, Rex needed to stay behind. But I guess it's a good opportunity for more tutorial and for you to continue to get familiar with the battle system. But to me, I just don't think it was all that warranted. I think they could have just cutscened that and finished out this little tutorial mission. Oh no! The king! Long live the king!
Captain, why? Our king, what have you done?
What I don't
King
understand.
intended all along to sell Damascus to the Empire.
What I
His
don't
Majesty was a
understand,
traitor.
and I'm not gonna spoil anything here if you have never played 12. What I don't understand is Bosch getting up to this point. I wasn't. It didn't even take me, say, a minute to clear out those enemies. Obviously, this isn't all in real time, but if let's just say for the sake of argument, it was.
We'll never surrender to you. We are not cattle to be sold by a traitor king.
But the war is over, my dear Captain.
Even if it was done in real time, how was he supposed to kill all those men and then kill the king
And think we
before
will
Rex
let
got
you
there?
keep some of your sovereignty out of respect.
I mean, what did
Now
he
you've
use? A
gone
quickening?
and ruined that.
Use a thunder
Haven't you,
spell?
Captain?
We will never bow to you.
And the people of Dalmasca will hate you for it. Take the captain away.
Those eyelashes, man. Those eyelashes. Oh my gosh, they're like razor blades. For the homeland. This kind of reminds me of the eyebrows from Fooly Cooly. Those eyebrows.
Pretenses of peace left by the wayside, the Arcadian forces resumed their advance toward Rabanasta. Dalmasca's doom had been decided. To make resistance would serve no end. With this foremost in my thoughts, I, to the people of Dalmasca. Sons and daughters of Dalmasca, I bid you lay down your arms. Raise songs of prayer in their stead. Prayer for His Majesty King Raminas, ever merciful, a man devoted wholly to peace. Prayer too for the noble Princess Ash, who, wrought with grief at her kingdom's defeat,
No.
has taken her own life.
Ash. Not you.
Know also that Captain Bosch von Ronsenberg, for incitement of sedition and the assassination of His Royal Majesty King Raminas, has been found guilty of high treason and put to his death. They who at this late hour choose still the sword are cut of the same cloth as the captain. Traitors who would lead Dalmasca to her ruin. Dalmasca's surrender without terms was soon to follow.
Alright. On to Rabanasta. Oh, right. The sewers first.
Vaan! Hurry it up or they'll find us.
I know. Just a little more. You keep an eye out for me up there, Kites. 1, 2, 3 more. Right.
Now, I wonder, obviously this is a remaster. And no, the voices were not, at least the English voices were not redone for the sake of the remaster, but I wonder if they did any audio enhancements. I'm sure they would have for a remaster, but it makes me curious how much of audio enhancements they did in order for the quality of the audio to match that of the quality of the game. Get back here, you rat! Get back here! You're dead! Ah! Ha ha! Stupid rat. These are giant ass rats. What are we, in New York City?
Wow, Vaan! You got them all yourself? Guess I know who to call when something big
Just the
comes
way the
along.
kid said it. You got them
Hey, it's
all
good practice in the
yourself?
desert. I'm ready for anything now.
Why send me on this mission if I wasn't gonna be able to do it?
That's enough for today.
Makes no sense.
You should get back to Miguel's place, Kites. Aren't you running errands for him?
Oops, totally forgot. You should come, Vaan. He's busy today. Might have some work for you to do, too.
I've got other, work to do. Hey, lock this place up for me, will you? If Miguel finds out we've been down here, he'll tan our hides.
Clear skies of Rabanasta today. Isn't that right? Ah, life of a diversified city. I'm curious if there was any sort of reference they used when building Rabanasta back during the development of the game. Oh damn, his face! Have to say though, the models are so much clearer in this remaster. They've done an awesome job with that.
Oops, sorry.
Which way you're going, Churl? Oh, my pouch! It's gone! The boy!
You can definitely tell the models were PS2. I mean, with the jagged polygons and stuff like that. And if anyone thought originally that this game was gonna be up to the stuff of at least PS3 polygons and modeling, they're sorely mistaken. That's not what a remaster is.
What? Hey, that's mine.
What do you mean, yours?
Penello.
Again. What happens if they catch you? We need you to be there for us, Vaan. You're no good to anyone if you're locked away in a dungeon.
Oh, what? Am I the leader now?
Oh no, thank gosh.
The first thing you learn is you gotta watch out for yourself. Come on, Penello. You know it as well as I do. Hey, you give that back. What do you think you're doing?
I thought that this money was the people of Dalmasca's property. The Imperials stole it from us, so it's only fair that we take it back. It's our duty as Dalmascans. Well, wasn't that what you said?
Yeah,
Okay,
but
so
I never
she
said anything
initially
about taking it back
scolds
from
him
me.
for stealing.
This is for that bread you took the other day. Just because I help Miguelo out every
Then
now and then, it doesn't mean
turns
that you get to
around
eat for
and
free
condones
too, you
it
know.
by coming up with an excuse as to why stealing was okay.
You think I like living
So
like
she's
this?
enabling him, but at the same Penello's character, at least in this circumstance, really makes me even more confused.
One of these days, I'll fly an airship of my own. I'll be a sky pirate. free to go where I will.
The only other,
Well, be careful. You'll never
again,
find anything if
nitpicking,
you're
but
riding a
something else
dungeon.
that's always kind of bothered me, especially
Oh, Miguelo had some
in
errands
regards
to be doing. He
to
wanted you to
character
drop by
models
his
here.
place.
If you
It
look at the
might be a good
color,
idea to
wow,
head
wow, I
ahead.
cannot talk. The color palette that they used for the, just for the colors on the skin, for example, they have different shades going on, like a lighter tan versus a darker tan, but all on the same skin. I can understand that they're trying to do like shadowing and stuff, but it almost looks like they're matte paintings. That they don't actually look like a sun is reflecting off their skin and changing the shadow based upon which direction they're facing. That they didn't have the ability in 2006 to create that type of an effect, possibly. So it's interesting when you look at the character models and look at them in the face. You can kind of see that where they just have these unnatural shades going on when what's happening around him. Like if you look at his, if you can see it from here, if you look at right underneath Vaan's eyes, he's got kind of that whitish shading going on, but he's not even looking into the sun or anything to cause that type of shade. It's like there's some very bad inconsistencies. If you look around his mouth, he's kind of got that outline of a really whitish line going across his upper lip. But it's totally inconsistent with the rest of his face. Or like at his chin point, same thing. Or even on his arms, you can see it all over the place. It's some very weird shading thing in order to get around the fact that they can't make sunlight reflect and to generate shadows. Alright, let's see if I can't get out there into some hunts and stuff in a quick period of time. Sure, let's hear it, why not? Okay, so I believe he is a reoccurring guy where you get more lore from. Alright, let's jump in the menu real quick. I don't think... I forget when I get access to the license board. But hopefully I get it pretty soon. So I need to go down here. Oh, wait. Nope. Never mind. I lied. These are just doorways. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. What did I hit? Oh, there we go. Okay. So, that's interesting. Hitting R1 activates a fast forward mode. And oh, no, excuse me, not R1, L1. And then you just hit L1 again to deactivate it. That's interesting. Better not do that again. And the main touchpad in the center of your remote is to get to the map. Okay. Obviously, triangle is still the same to the menu. Circle or square or X activates a conversation. Circles cancel. How much money do I have? 149 gil. I'm not gonna buy anything quite yet. I don't think I can. The reds are all blocked off. The blues are places I can enter.
Ah, Vaan, I was waiting.
Pinello said you needed something?
Had me some packages supposed to be arriving by courier. In the morning, perhaps he ran into some trouble out in the desert. Now I've no foodstuffs to prepare for the banquet tonight.
So you want me to find this courier? Hey, no problem.
No problem. The desert teems with trouble. I'd be sending you to early grave, my boy. No, I've arranged for some replacement goods from Tomas.
He's got that raspy voice that reminds me of the
So you want me to go to the tavern to pick
one
him
of the
up?
guys from an Independence Day.
Actually, I
who played next to who played in the cable company in the office building. It's like, David, why did I leave my mother in Atlanta? Or something like that. I forget the exact lines, but his voice reminds me of that person.
Easy work, and you'll thank me for it someday.
Alright, so we gotta go on this quest here to retrieve the courier. I believe it was for the food. Okay, yes, now I can enter the weapons shop and stuff. But I can't go to Lowtown until later because that actually unlocks... Hey, Penelo, what are you doing here? How do you know that when you were standing here the whole time? How do you know I was supposed to go to the CNC? How about you do some work? Shouldn't be the only one working around here. Enter. Most Isley, where you find the wretched hide and scum and villainy.
Stop loafing around.
Look, Vaan, look. This is it. This is
Look,
why
Vaan
Bosch
Rosenberg.
courier didn't get here on time.
That would have been funny if he was related to Bosch.
What is that thing?
Ah, Vaan. Miguelo sent you too, did he? He's a busy man these days, that Miguelo, if I dare say so myself. I don't envy him the work, though. Not a bit. Quite the affair throwing a banquet to welcome the Imperials, eh?
Welcoming? We should be... Whatever. Say, Tamaj,
We all know what he wanted to say. We should be massacring them, destroying them. Take out back our town.
What's stopping our couriers? And that
Or
means
city.
shortages all around.
I don't think this has been in town in a long
Offer
time.
reward to anyone who can knock that nasty back in its place.
Now that's work. Sounds 10 times better than running errands for Miguelo.
That's right. Vaan, you should give it a shot.
And you should be getting back to Miguelo. Now, Kites. He was waiting for you.
Oh, right.
Oh my gosh. Just give me a hunt. Yes, I know how hunts work. I do apologize there for a second. My headset actually turned off on me. So what's interesting about my headset is unless if it has an active sound going through it, my headset does not stay on for very long afterwards. Because you'll think it idled out and it will turn off. Which is nice because my headset is a wireless headset, so it doesn't drain all the juice for being on uselessly. So if I forget to turn it on before I leave my desk to go do something else, whether it's to bed or something else entirely, it will turn off on its own. The downside is again, I have to have an actual active sound source going through it. So it doesn't matter whether I'm just using the mic part and there's stuff going through the mic. If there's nothing going through the earbuds, the speaker portion of it, it will register it as idling, which I'm not sure is a good thing. So, because this time around, unlike before, the way I usually stream my PS4 content, is I usually have it going through a different software. And that, when I use the other software I usually use, the PS4 sound actually funnels into the software and runs through my headphones. So I don't have to use the TV speakers. But today I'm actually doing something different. I'm running everything through OBS now. I'm just using the video capture device that I use for the PS4. Oh wait, hold on. I missed the tutorial message. I kind of skipped through it without actually reading it. I didn't realize this was actually going to tell me which license board I want. Ah, that's right. Okay. Okay. So, welcome to the new license board here. So, this is based upon, again, the international version of FF12, the one that never got here to the States. In the original 2006 version of the license board in North America, we had essentially a grid with a bunch of it's like flipping over tiles on a grid for a certain number of license points. But eventually, over the course of the game, just kind of like the same thing that happened with the sphere grid in FF10, you would eventually unlock everything for every character. So no longer are they role specific. They can be anything and everything you need. So everyone will have cures, everyone will have DPS abilities, everyone will have tanking abilities. It doesn't matter, everyone's got everything. But in this version, you're actually locked into a role. So when you choose your role, that's all that person can learn. Now, I'm not sure if later in the game you can unlock the ability to unlock other roles for the same character, but at least for now, all I know is that choose one, that's what I'm stuck with. So I gotta be careful. So, usually for my primary character in all Final Fantasies, I've always made them DPS based. And I'm probably going to stick with that same idea because to me that's it's what I'm familiar with and used to. So Archer I'll probably save for what was her name? Vera? I believe it was Vera. Save it for her. Or maybe make her a black mage. I haven't decided. Penelo, I will probably make a straight healer. Just a white mage. And Princess Ash, I will probably turn her into probably a red mage. Red battle mage. This is gonna be interesting. I'm making some pre-plans on what I want to do. It'd be nice to use Bushi or Shikari. Ulan. Yeah, those are more like tanking classes. Foe Breaker. Reduce enemy attack power, captures loot. Maybe. Or maybe I should make Vaan an archer. Just thinking of making him a monk. Let's preview the board, huh? Ooh, yeah, this is what I was talking about, the tile-based board system. But this is a very specific board system, and again, in the original version, this was what all the boards looked like. And everyone had the same board, so there was no, like, if I go down a different route, say Battle Mage, see how the board changes based upon which one you chose. All of them are the same, and you can learn all the skills. So I think this is pretty cool. I really like this so far. That's interesting. Yeah. I think I will do monk for him. Let's play it with monk. Get out of that. Choose the monk license board. Okay, so yeah, that seems about right because I cannot. Oh, okay. So I use square. Get there. So I'm wondering, since it still allows me in the screen, I'm wondering if at some point I will be able to select other roles. That'll be fun to find out. Clan primer. So this is where we could check our hunts, the bestiary, traveler's tips, which are just essentially. Never really used these two through the base of the game. The bestiary I used occasionally for hunts later in the game, but early on I never really saw the need for them. It looks like they did, at least it feels like they made some changes to how the hunts stuff looks like, so it's pretty cool. I like it. Alright. Oh wait, I almost forgot to equip my new accessory. There we go. Raises my HP a bit. No, it's down out at the Esther Sands, Esther Lands, Esther something. So I need to go over here. Well, and it's funny, is actually about almost a year ago now, I believe. I had originally attempted to replay the original FF12. And I actually got a bit into it. I got, I would say about 10 hours into it. And then the news broke. At least for me it did. I'm not sure if it was any sooner than that. It broke out, but the information came out that they were working on a remaster for FF12. And since then, I had swore off FF12 until this came out. Because I didn't want to replay through the game and then this come out me not feeling like playing it. I wanted to come in with the excitement and joy of replaying this game.
Oh,
And I'm glad I
gee, that's too
did.
bad. You see, it just
It's
so
definitely
happens
well
that your
worth the
provision
wait.
For the fate tonight, he sent me to pick up a few choice morsels for the consul's dining pleasure. He wants them quick. I got the writ of transit right here. You see? Signed.
Nice that your
Miguel.
hand's clipping through the paper
I
there,
just hate to
Vaan.
see the consul upset
You got
because
some
his dude
magic
wasn't ready
powers
on
there,
time.
man.
And I sure hate to see him take it out on you.
The Lord Consul is a great man, and not one to take offence in such trifling matters. Move along, boy. Wouldn't do to keep the Consul waiting. Right. Gates are closed after this.
Go to the save point again. Whoop, no. Oh, should have defaulted to this. Oh, the days of saving frequently. With no retries and stuff like that. Actually, I think there is a retry system in this game where it retries you at a nearby location. That royally pissed me off at 13. It felt like the difficulty was not even there. Obviously, the infamous, I think it was chapter 9, the infamous difficulty spike in Final Fantasy 13. It really made that game jarring. But here, oh man, see, this looks pretty good. Obviously, he still suffers from the weird skin inconsistencies, trying to make shadows where there was none on the base palette of his skin. Like, look at that. You can tell where each section of his arm is, from his bicep to his shoulder to it's just very weird. I don't get that. And like his face, it looked like he got a really bad sunburn on his face. That is strange to me. But this actually looks very nice if you zoom out and really just have fun with this. This looks pretty nice. Way better than 2006 ever was. Alright, so attack a couple more of these cactites, maybe gain a level or two. Oh yeah, see, I can run around them all I want, but I don't think that ever changes whether they hit or miss. Excuse me. 2 hits. Do. Oh, there he is. So this is the hunt. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna beat him up, and if I remember right, he runs away at some point. You gotta chase him down. Yes. Ha 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 ha. Yes. Just to wait. I'll be back. Haha, you can't hurt me. I'm way quicker than you. Alright. And something else I did in this game that it took me a while to understand was how to earn money in this game. So obviously in FF9, 8, 7, and even in 10, the money you earned out in the field was significant enough that you didn't need to really sell anything. The selling in the item shops was kind of necessary. But in this game, you actually picked up useless items. Well, they're not useless. You end up using the items eventually to create things. Not create things. I think you turned them in as an exchange items. But
never thought I'd see him growing out here.
You can also take a lot of the items you earn in this game and sell them, and that's how you gain most of your money. Actually, was through
nice souvenir. Time to call it a day.
Was through selling these items, farming the items, selling them, and you gain a bunch of money. So I went through in my first playthrough in the old game. I went through a really long time before I realized that. So yeah, so the gambit system is going to be a bit to unlock, and there's a lot of I leveled up. There's definitely a lot more I want to do. Obviously, I want to farm some license points. I usually do that in my initial like few hours of the game. I'll usually farm a ton, grind a ton of levels out to get an early head start. And especially in this game, with the hunts as difficult as they can be sometimes, that's some of the things I love about this game, is the difficulty. While it can be extremely hard at times and frustrating, but I'd rather it be hard and frustrating, and me really having to think, instead of me being handed. Ooh, yeah, let's steal from being handed a victory easily because it didn't want to be difficult. It just want to be just difficult enough to not hit one button all the time. So, but yeah, I really enjoy that aspect, and I really like the grinding aspect. I'm a grinder. I would spend hours just grinding out one level. I mean, if you look at my Final Fantasy 14 playthroughs, I must have spent. I know when I worked on the Fisherman class, I spent hours just fishing. I mean, not using lev quests, not doing anything like that, just fishing. and I would watch something in my other screen and just fish away. So, but all in all, what I'm trying to say is I'm going to spend a lot of time farming. I'm going to spend a lot of time leveling up and getting stuff done in this game. Maybe over the next few days, if not over the next few days, definitely next week, I will get another video in, another stream in. If you definitely like what you see and you want to hear more about me ramble on about this game and my experiences with it, plus any experiences I may see for anything new that comes up in this game, by all means, come follow me here on Twitch. Come follow or just follow my YouTube over at Aoshi101, AOSHI101, or follow me here again, Twitch, ARFIE1011. That's RFE101, Aoshi101. You can follow me here. I call this the All the Games series, where I will go and I will play whatever games you guys ask me to play. Obviously, for right now, I got a ton of games that I want to play because of launches and releases. There's a lot of stuff coming out. But there's also a lot of games I'm going to miss, because by default, my likes and dislikes are very limited. Games that I'm really interested are very limited. I got a narrow view. And so having you guys tell me games that you want me to see will help expand my repertoire, my list of games, and I wouldn't mind being given suggestions on some new games I should touch or play. Like I've been told constantly that I should try the games in the Witcher series, so maybe that's something I should start playing. I know I've been doing some Shogun 2 lately. I'm restarting that up, so I might get some gameplay in there on that. But follow me here, follow me on YouTube. I'd be more glad. Come join me in the chats. If also, I got an email address. If you have any suggestions, comments, anything you want to raise to me that you can't get to me otherwise, it's allthegames.rfe@gmail.com, I believe. It will definitely be in the description on the YouTube page. I will try to get that in there. This is Zodiac, Final Fantasy XII, Zodiac Age, remaster, out now. Go hit up Amazon. I believe there's still a deal or something going on there. I know today's Prime Day as well for Amazon. Go get the game. It looks really great so far. Otherwise than that, I'll see you guys later. Thanks everybody for joining in. Have a good day. Peace.